Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Speaker, and my guest today is Carl Brizzi. We're here on the live set of Indiana Law TV. So, Carl, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we have another controversial topic today, and a lot going on right now in Ferguson with the anniversary of that unfortunate event. So what I want to do is I actually want to run a video clip and then have you commentate on it. So let's do that.
Breaking overnight, police return gunfire in Ferguson, Missouri, shooting one person.
Yeah, someone opened fire as protesters gathered to remember the day a Ferguson police officer shot and killed Michael Brown. And now the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports last night's shooter was Brown's friend, 18-year-old Tyrone Harris Jr.
So what are the facts in this case?
So what's interesting about what's going on in Ferguson is that it is the 1 year anniversary. And last year, I wrote and argued and reasoned against the police using military equipment to quell what was going on in Ferguson. And basically my argument is that, look, policing is not just about catching bad guys. It's about working with the community. And when you militarize police, when you show up in, matching black outfits with, military style boots, Humvees, armored vehicles, grenade launchers, all of those things, you send the wrong message, right? You look more like an occupying force than you do a police department. And it helps create more distance between the citizens and the police officers, and it sends the wrong message. So now here we are a year later, and some of the citizens are literally acting like enemy combatants. And the problem that I have is not with protests in general. I have a problem with the protests that are going on in Ferguson because the facts state that the officer was completely justified in shooting Michael Brown. Michael Brown is not a hero. Michael Brown was attacking a police officer when he was shot and killed. And now you have protesters and rioters in Ferguson who are rioting and protesting with no legitimacy.
Yeah. Well, and I know that we both agree that we certainly are against racism, but is racism really the issue here?
Well, of course we're against racism. I think the reason why we're talking about it is that what's going on in Ferguson right now undermines the legitimate arguments that we still as a nation are faced with. Racial issues, the tensions, black people being treated or mistreated in the criminal justice system. And so when you have people who are out there and using racism as a pretext in the specific context of Michael Brown, it undermines the legitimate arguments about combating racism because the underlying message is flawed, which is that Michael Brown's shooting was somehow racially motivated. Right.
And what is the real issue here? Because we've talked about that. It's not racism. It's none of that. In your opinion, what is the real issue?
Well, I think what we're facing as a nation, I mean, we are divided racially, and I think that there are some people out there on both sides who are being manipulative and being opportunistic and using race as a pretext. But I think it's about power. I think it's about haves and have-nots. I think it's about the coercers versus the coerced. And I see it in my children, the younger generations, where they are questioning authority. They're questioning police more and more. There's this proliferation of cell phones and videos. And so I think the power has been diffused. And you're getting more and more examples. I mean, look at Ferguson. Everybody has their cell phone out, and all of that's being recorded. So what once was almost a monopoly of power and, more importantly, really information, that's being diffused among the citizenry. And all of these tensions and different things that are going on, the frustration that you see, the reason why Trump is so popular, all of this.
Right. People have had it.
Yeah, they've had it, and it's being recorded.
Right.
And people are I think you can get energized and you can get motivated when you see more and more people who feel and act the way that you do. The problem is when you do it based on a pretext and you do it based on not based on truth, right? There's lots of reasons to be upset.
Yeah.
And people need to be protesting about those things. Yeah. But we don't need to make up issues to be upset about racism. There are plenty of legitimate circumstances where the government mistreats citizens that we can be upset about.
Yeah. Great insights.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
This is Cindy Speaker for Indiana Law TV.